Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the Ninja Warrior podcast. Today, we are doing episode 20, talking about the Women's Championship. We know we'll lay on this one. We're kind of sorry, but it's kind of just the way the weeks fell. When we were planning things out, we had no idea this was even airing. We thought either they weren't going to show it, or they were going to air on the 31st and everything else, so... It happened, and speaking of which, I do have my two co-hosts here, so why don't you go and introduce yourself? Whoa! Well, personally, I don't think we should have this type of competition thing. I'm Crystal, and I'm excited for it. I need to cover it. Yeah, definitely. This was a lot more exciting than I honestly thought it would be. Yes, there were a lot of surprises. Honestly, I thought it would just be like a general boring episode, but this was actually one of the most intense and interesting episodes we've had. So I guess we should just get right into it, really. Yeah, I don't have anything else to say, really, except get into the episode. Starting with the opening movie, which contains spoilers! Yay! Remember when Ninja did that? I know, right?
No boys allowed.
Yes, the spoiler was when Jessica Black is on Corkscrew. They show her from this special and not from the semifinals, which if they want to do that, they could have easily have done that. She even completed the obstacle there, so really, yeah, it just seems pointless to spoil something like that. Yeah, they also done promos, which they almost never do. They almost never not do, so that sucks. Anyway, let's get on to the course. It had 6 obstacles for the first round. We had the sliding steps, off the hook, the beehive, butt rubber, which was a surprise, sideways, and the wall. Yep, and to be completely honest, I didn't really see anything that really stuck out. I don't really like how beehive made a return, but it's okay. It's not like it's a problem. Yeah, my personal favorite here is Butt Rubble, obviously. But anyway, I guess we're going to get into the one, too, since there aren't really any new or changing obstacles until we get to the back half. So, I guess we'll just get into it now. The first one, Ashley McConnell. It's going to be one of those nights, aren't we? Because this was not a good way to start the special. Starting off with a competitor who I wanted to succeed. This is one of those things where you think they would go with Janique Lovett or something. Someone who barely anybody cares about. Like, did you even know she was even competing this season? Even if we weren't covering it in a podcast, do you think you would know she's actually competing? Not really. I mean, I feel like it would be something I would forget over time. Exactly. She really hasn't been featured all that much since season 9, her rookie season. So, really, and that was really because she had a story. So, really, it would not have been all that bad, but just having Ashley McConnell, it doesn't work. Yeah, she had a story about being inspired by Casey Sting. God! Okay, I get it was a really inspiring one or everything, but can we stop mentioning Casey? God! This was almost the first season and to go without mentioning her. She's retired. Give her a break. Yeah, I don't like to criticize her or anything, but we're just saying they milk her like to the freaking moon. Even while she was competing, but even now when she's retired, she's in WWE. She's doing that. But they are still milking her up the ass, and absolutely no one is really caring. And honestly, it probably is true that she was inspired by her. Still, the fact that they keep on milking that moment dry. Yeah, if you don't know that she was the first, then it must be some kind of record, or you just don't watch the show. Yeah, basically, so you have to know by this point. They've done it at least, I think, twice every season, except for this one, because this one they just mentioned it here. But anyway, Ashley McConnell, she did pretty well, more than I expected, but she made it all the way to sideways. Yeah, it kind of sucks, but considering that she went first, I wasn't surprised. Yeah, kind of sucks because she did really well in last year's qualifiers, so I honestly thought she would do really well, but it happens. And after her, we had Sandy Zimmerman, who had a story about basically how the entirety of the Zimmerman family does ninja and has competed on a version of the show over the years. If you all saw what a progression of her going from AWA falling on the second obstacle to TikTok to winning a buzzer as the first mom, it was fine, nothing really too notable about it. And then she becomes the first woman to hit a buzzer here. Yeah, considering how early this was, I was honestly expecting her to either fail early again, or for her to not make it. Yeah, that would have been really sad though if she didn't make it, because, you know, a woman completing the course, they deserve to move on, especially if they have never done it before. So, yeah, but, you know, she did end up moving on to 6th spot, so that was nice. And after her, we had Michelle Wonky, probably the biggest shocker at the qualifying round. So anyway, after Michelle Wonky, we had Sweet Tea Tiana Webley. I hate her name so much. Really? I like the competitor, but I just hate her name. It's so annoying. But anyway, Tiana Webley, she did really well. Winning a buzzer. Yes, she did end up hitting a buzzer. And that's really all we have to say. Yeah, and after Tiana Webley, we had Jilly DeWillio in a fast forward segment. She went on the Beehive, and we also had Maddie Howard in this fast forward segment. Yes, she ended up actually completing the course. And after that, we had the next one from, of all people, Megan Martin. Yeah, she had a big comeback in this special show. We'll get to it, but she just did really, really well. She had a story about her never hitting a buzzer in season 8, which I had known beforehand, but it's still very surprising to think that she has gone farther than many other women, and she's one of only about, I think, 4 or 5 to get over the warp wall on stage 1. And so that's an accomplishment right there. And from season 6 to season 8, before Jessie Graff completed stage 1, she had gone the farthest at any woman. So really, she was like the big one at the time, but she never really seemed to get going after her. After season 9, it just seemed like she has been going down a downward spike recently. As well, she did good in season 9 overall. She hasn't really been doing all that well, at least consistently. So, this was a good return to form for her. Yeah, definitely. Because, she got revenge on Sideways, and I was really thinking, she might end up failing because this story and all that, but I am so happy that she actually ended up hitting her first buzzer in years. Yeah, and it must have felt really good for her as well, because, waiting that long to hit a buzzer, it's kind of hard to think that you have to promise well you could do it beforehand, but now you kind of just, you can't do it just because you haven't been able to build up the strength and haven't been able to build up the strength to be able to do so again, and it kind of sucks. Yeah, I mean, part of it is maybe because of, obstacles and all that. But I feel like it's just maybe your technique on most of the time. Yeah, stuff like the lightning bolts have been a trouble to her because of the way she did them, but that's besides the point. Megalon did really well, and we're going to move on. So after her, we had Rachel Goldstein, a fast forward segment. This was kind of a shocker to see her here as, she got injured in between the qualifiers and semifinals, meaning she couldn't compete in the semis. So that brings up the question, when the flick in season 12 filming dates was this filmed? Yeah, it is a pretty good thing. The only way they would have known that people like Ashley McConnell had done well was to have the qualifying runs happen first, but then Rachel Goldstein's injured soon after, so it's very confusing when this actually happened. Yeah, it barely makes sense. If you guys know, let us know, I guess, but I'm doubting they know. They're probably asking the same questions to them where we've been able to tell them. Yeah, but anyway. This Rachel Goldstein, she fell in the Beehive for the second time. That kind of sucked. And we also had Alyssa Beard and it featured one. She ended up failing on Sideways. On the final Sideways is Hold, just barely missing out. This was definitely a big shocker for me personally.
Yes, it looks like she has it, but then she just falls right off.
I think it's an even bigger shocker when we look at the final one-0, because what happened there definitely makes it seem like this was just an unfair, lucky coincidence.
Yeah, we're gonna get there. I have my own thing to say about it as well.
Yeah, but anyway, after that we had Jessie Graff, another person who once again brings up the question of when was this filmed, because she got injured in the finals, so it is really confusing. I mean, she is fine, yes, and as in, well, she's not competing next year, unfortunately. She did do fine, and she has posted on Twitter and Facebook that she's been doing alright, but still, the fact that she got injured soon after, it makes me question when this was filmed. So, yeah.
Plus, it's all in one night, so it's not like anyone had time to heal or anything.
No. Well, anyway, as expected, Jessie Graff did end up winning the course, so that was good. That's Jessie Graff. We had
Jean-Luc Lovett in a fast-forward segment. And this was like one of a shock they left for so far into the episode, just the qualifying round. But, she fell in a beehive.
Yeah, and I was honestly thinking she would be one of the very first we see, but she ended up being one of the last two, so it was surprising to me, but it's not like it really mattered. The big one is Jessie Flex. Looked like it was the final one of the night here, and can we just talk about her on Sideways? But anyway, yes, Jessie Black, just like Alyssa Beard, she fell in the final Sideways lift, but instead of falling, her back ended up landing on the twisting wall, flipping her over it and onto the landing pad. This was honestly like a holy crap moment for me, because I was literally jumping out of my seat, because honestly I had no idea what was going on. It went by so fast too. The what just got up, went up the wall, and finished the course with the fastest time. I mean, that was just so intense.
Yes, and I am so happy you didn't spoil that in the promos, because being the only one who actually watches this on live TV, you could easily see that.
Very easily, yes. So, thank God they didn't spoil that, because that was just like, it was still a big shocker moment for me, just because they didn't really go for the spoiler part of it. So, that was a pretty intense one, all things considered. And then we get to move on to the semifinals.
Ah, yes, baby. Oh, yeah. Now we're getting real with the real meat of the special. I really don't know how to describe this without being not honest.
Yeah, I totally agree. The final four obstacles were the same as in the semifinals. We have the same in Wino, a very watered down version of Corkscrew, which just made the obstacle a joke. And we had the dungeon, which made the obstacle harder, thankfully, with it's a cannonball to mount onto it. I like that change. And the dungeon was already a hard obstacle anyway, so it's not surprising it took out a couple women. And we also had the spider trap, and then, the buzzer.
And this was kind of hard obstacle, a kind of hard course.
Yeah, every single woman here, aside from with one exception, made it to ninth obstacle, the dungeon. Sandy Zimmerman, Tiana Webberly, and Maddie Howard all fell on it, with Tiana Webberly and Maddie Howard moving on. And we had Jessie the Black and Megan Martin make it through the dungeon. Jessie the Black ended up slipping off the spider trap, while Megan Martin became the only competitor to finish the course. And, oh man, this was big.
Yes, let Megan Martin, a girl who we knew had the potential to actually hit a buzzer in the city finals, actually finally was able to do it. And this was just an amazing one.
Yeah, I mean, yes, it was on a very watered down course when it made it easier for the women, which honestly I don't think they needed to do. But, it's good to see Megan Martin actually, hit a buzzer. Definitely.
Wait, the one good that we haven't mentioned here is Jessie Graff, and that's because she scores the shocker of the night here as she falls on sideways. Oh yeah, for sure, and that leaves the top four: Megan Martin, Jessie Black, Tiana Webberly, and Maddie Howard. Moving on to the Power Tower playoffs. This was, honestly, to my perspective, not needed.
Yeah, I think it should have been just a semifinals course. Being completely honest, I think the semifinals course should have been how they've done this. And still had the same format, everything, just have a semifinals course, and the final two women go up on the Power Tower, because honestly, I don't want a full-on Power Tower bracket. It's kind of pointless. I would have actually minded an actual course. Or it's like, I feel like, I wish they would have actually done an actual, like, course race with the women. In, like, a standard leaderboard thing, and not, a race like this.
Yeah, don't get us wrong, the Power Tower was intense matchups, and here, there was only like one matchup that I can say with full certainty that it was very good and intense, but the fact is that the Power Tower here really doesn't need to be here.
No, it doesn't. I honestly think it should have been another course. Like another course like the semifinals, just like add something like Dragon back in or something.
Yeah, maybe we could have a mix between all the obstacles. That's what it should have been instead of, like the original qualified course, it was a mix. Mix out the other obstacles so we can have a more newer course. In fact, they should have done that for the semifinals round instead of the same course again with 3 obstacles that are very watered down.
Yeah, definitely. But anyway, we still have the Power Tower bracket, which had Maddie Howard and Megan Martin going up first, with Megan Martin coming away with the win, and then we had Tiana Webberly and Jessie Black on round 2, with Jessie Black coming out to the win.
Yeah, but that left the final matchup, Jessie Black versus Megan Martin. And going into this, and seeing the matchup before Megan Martin did her thing, how many of you guys thought that Jessie Black was going to win this for sure?
Me. Right here. Because, Jessie Black was a full shelf grab ahead. And then Megan comes and does 2 one-swing laches and throws herself to the final 2 dropping shelves instantly. Goes to the dismount and hits the buzzer for us. This was just an amazing matchup. And when we upload highlights of this, I'm definitely going to be re-uploading this one.
Oh, hell yes. This was like the ultimate finale. This was the big thing. I was honestly thinking this would not be interesting, but Megan made it interesting.
Yeah, she had a huge comeback, and she ended up winning the $50,000 and the championship as a whole.
Yeah, congrats to Megan. And well, that's really about it we have to say about the special, honestly.
Yeah, the only little interesting about the Power Tower was getting that one final matchup. That is it for the women's competition. Right before AW 12 airs. What you guys think?
What kind of underwhelming, but definitely worth the wait.
Yeah, it was a good way to come back and get back into the action for Ninja. I also didn't think if this aired the week after season 12 finish, it would not have been as good. But the fact that this is how we reintroduced the Ninja definitely helps it stand out and actually make it a good episode. Yeah, so you think timing is what helped it? Oh yeah, definitely, that's mostly it. I kind of have to agree with that one, because again, I think as well that if it aired when season 12 was airing, it definitely would have hit the punch as well. But anyway, that's it for this episode. We'll see you guys next time. Next week, we are not covering AW13 as it's not going to be airing when we film the episode on Saturday, but it's going to be a little bit of an update episode.
Yeah, we're going to do a little bit of an update for you guys. We're going to be doing all the new seasons and maybe something else, you never know.
Yeah, I do have something else planned, but you guys are going to see what that is next podcast episode, so thank you all for watching. We'll see you guys next Monday for that, so yeah, see you guys now. Peace.